Hello there. As part of the Kingdom of Great Britain, Scotland has again had its own parliament since May 1999, which is based in Edinburgh. Executive power remains with the UK Parliament in Westminster, though. The head of state is the British Crown. So Scotland has had its own parliament since 1999. Its competences were defined in the Scotland Act of 1998. In this, the British government handed over parts of its governmental powers to the regional parliament. This process is also called devolution. The Scottish MSPs therefore decide on matters that primarily affect Scotland, for example in areas of education, health and the environment. Parliament in Westminster in London makes, among other things, decisions that apply to the entire United Kingdom. This includes areas such as constitution, foreign policy, defence and data protection. After the failed referendum on Scottish independence, the Scotland Act 2016 decided to hand over powers in other areas such as taxation, welfare and elections to the Scottish Parliament. The Scottish electoral system is based on closed list personalised proportional representation in several separate constituencies. The special feature is that overhang mandates are deducted from the other parties in the electoral area. The Scottish Parliament consists of 129 seats. Of these, 73 mandates in single constituencies are awarded by relative majority voting, and the remaining mandates via the regional lists of the parties. The legislative period is 4 years. Elections are usually held on the first Thursday in May. Anyone eligible for Parliament in Westminster is eligible, plus peers and clergy and EU citizens residing in Scotland. So far, EU citizen not anymore. Each Scottish elector has 2 votes, one vote for a direct candidate in the constituency, the other vote for a party and its regional list. Scotland is divided into 8 regions, which are identical to the former 8 constituencies of the European Parliament elections in the years 1979 to 1994. The constituencies correspond to the constituencies to the Westminster Parliament until 1999. Only the Orkney and Shetland Islands each form a separate constituency. Each region has 8 to 10 constituencies. In the 8 regions, the parties also compete with regional lists, as I said. In addition to the constituency seats, 7 seats are allocated to the regional lists of the parties in each region. And this determines the number of seats per region. The 73 constituencies have so far corresponded to the Westminster constituencies of the general elections in 1997 and 2001, as I said, with the exception of the Orkney and Shetland Islands, which have their own constituencies. The Westminster and Holyrood constituencies were unlinked with the reduction in the number of Scottish constituencies for Westminster from 72 to 59 by the Scottish Parliament Act 2004. There is no explicit blocking clause. However, there are actual regional blocking hurdles which are around 6% with 15 to 17 seats per region and with a D'Hondt method. In the May 1st, 2003 election, the Greens missed a seat with 5.66% in Western Scotland, while winning a seat in the North East with 5.22%. By overhang mandates reducing the proportionate seats up for grabs, the natural blocking hurdle will continue to increase. The seats are distributed in each region according to the divisor method, with rounding down to the regional list of the parties. If overhang mandates occur, fewer seats are distributed to the other parties. The seats in the regions are distributed independently of each other. In the constituencies, those candidates are elected who have achieved the relative majority of the valid votes cast. The mandates won directly in the constituencies are deducted from the determined number of seats that a party is entitled to in a region. If a party is then entitled to additional seats, these are allocated to the party's regional list. If a party wins more seats in the constituencies of a region than it is entitled to after the proportional adjustment, these seats remain with the party. The other parties do not receive compensatory mandates, nor does internal party compensation take place. The other parties receive correspondingly fewer seats, so that the total number of MPs does not increase. When a constituency MP resigns from Parliament, a by-election is held in the constituency. There is no recalculation of lists and constituency seats in that case. Members of the Scottish Parliament are not allowed to stand in the by-election. However, they can resign from Parliament to stand in the by-election. If a member of the list is eliminated, the next candidate on the list just moves up, so there's no by-election. Scotland was traditionally divided into 34 counties. In 1889, it was divided into 33 administrative counties. In 1775, these were in turn grouped into 9 regions and 3 island districts before these administrative structures were dissolved again, and Scotland was finally divided into 32 administrative districts, so-called council areas or unitary authorities in 1996, including 3 island districts. This is a one-tier local government in which districts, cities and towns are combined into one authority and administered centrally. There is no level of local government above or below them. However, some of the larger council areas have divided their area into regional units in which so-called area committees are responsible for organizing specific tasks in their area. The local authorities are responsible for education, health and social services, transport and police, and the districts are responsible for housing, culture, sports and recreation. Anyone living in Scotland has to pay a so-called council tax, a municipal tax that is payable monthly or annually if you prefer, to the local authority. Council tax is a 50% building tax and is calculated based on the location and value of the building or dwelling. Depending on the value of the building, the council tax bands are categorized from A to H and vary in price from £85 to £270 per month. The other 50% included in council tax is personal in nature and is based on the number of people residing in the household. Many Scottish authorities give a 25% discount to households of just one person. Council tax covers some incidental expenses. The costs for waste disposal as well as costs for water and wastewater for households are included. There are no water meters in Scotland. On the municipal side, local facilities such as the fire brigade, libraries, schools and leisure facilities are maintained with the council tax. Also, for someone with meters everywhere in his flat, I would find this quite weird, but I've never been in Scotland. Unfortunately, I always want to go there. I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.